Why would you want to buy this, which is $70,000 for a base model, when you could buy this for under $10,000? Sure, you'll be buying a vehicle out of warranty, but I'd rather pay $10,000 for another 100,000 miles instead of paying $70,000 for 200,000 miles. That's just me though. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you want to know more about cars. Today, I'm going over 5 of the best luxury SUVs all under $10,000. Let's get started. Before we jump into the first car, I just wanted to mention that these are luxury cars, so some may not be all that reliable. Still, it's better than paying $70,000 for a new base model luxury SUV. 2006 Porsche Cayenne. The Cayenne came into the market in 2003, and it's the first time Porsche has put a V8 engine in the car since the 928. And in my opinion, overall, this car still looks pretty dang modern, and it has a design that really stands out on the exterior and a very elegant interior that is better than most new cars. Porsche is a sports car company, so they factored in spirited driving into their SUV. It has nice bolstered steering wheel and seating, stiff suspension with minimal body roll, and a nice all-wheel drive system that's always on. And this Porsche Cayenne is going for $7,500 with only 102,000 miles. That's not bad, especially since they can last upwards to 250,000 miles if you're willing to keep putting some money into it. What are the issues? No start due to failed fuel pump, coolant leak from the thermostat housing, coils going out, which is typical with age, coolant pipe possibly failing, which isn't a big deal unless you let it overheat and tear apart the head gasket, and the drive shaft bearing going bad. / 2008 Volvo XC90. Similar to the Porsche, I feel like the XC90 is aging very well. It really doesn't look all that outdated, and whenever I see one driving around, it really stands out to me. For the time, the navigation system was behind, so it's nearly useless now. And some may have a backup camera, folding mirrors, and TVs on the headrest, which is cool additions. The Volvo really isn't anything special, but the interior is nice with wood grain throughout the cabin, but a bit outdated sadly. Still super nice and comfortable though. Be sure if you're looking for one above 100,000 miles that the timing chain has been replaced. And the first thing that usually tends to fail on these cars are the transmissions at around 180,000 miles. So keep the lookout. This particular XC90 is going for $7,500 with under 100,000 miles. Since most likely the belt has not been changed, I'm sure you can knock the price down a bit. What are the issues? Transmission failure, like I mentioned before, oil leak from the all-wheel drive diff seal, and the audio from the radio just doesn't work sometimes. / 2008 Chevrolet Tahoe. The Tahoe can seat up to 9 passengers properly equipped, tow up to 8,200 pounds, and is on the Silverado platform. There is a variety of engine options, and they are all pretty reliable. This is not nearly as luxurious as a Porsche or a Volvo, but if you find the right trim, which is very much possible, you'll be getting a pretty awesome setup. Now, if you're wanting a Tahoe more within the $5K budget, then just look at the older generation between 2000 and 2006. The Tahoe has the LS engine, so you know that these engines will probably be the last thing to break in these trucks. This Tahoe offers 5 different trims: LS, 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, and the LTZ. Since there are so many trim levels, discussing each one may take a minute, so I'll talk about what the base model has to offer and the LTZ. The LS, the base model, has the 5.3 liter V8 and 320 horsepower and a 373 rear gear ratio that gives the truck a bit more of an aggressive drive, which I like a lot. 3-zone climate control because third row seating, so it can seat the entire family. They are really trying to cater to the ones in the back. Wood trim throughout the cabin, leather seats, and the interior is actually pretty nice. However, the base model comes with a standard radio, and that is just a small downfall. The LTZ is top of the line trim that offers a 6.2 liter V8 with 380 horsepower, power running boards, chrome appearance package, which looks awesome, and not all Tahoes have the chrome package, but when they do, it looks awesome. Rear seat DVD player with aux inputs and a touchscreen radio. This particular Tahoe is an LTZ edition with 148,000 miles for under $9,000. These Tahoes will be able to last around 300,000 miles at least, so don't worry too much about the miles. And what are the issues? There's a common issue of the top of the dash cracking. Four-wheel drive sensor failing and other minor things may fail, like the door lock actuators. 2006 Range Rover Sport. For this model, Range Rover introduced a new V8 to keep up with the competition. The Range Rover still looks very modern and up to date. It's easy to give these old gens a double look because they are such a unique car. The interior is still quality, and even in today's day and age. With just a press of a button, you'll be able to raise and lower the car with its air suspension. But the main expensive repair for these cars are the air ride suspension. To replace it, you'll be looking at a pretty penny. Instead, I would opt in for an aftermarket suspension setup, which would be much cheaper. Another big issue is coolant leaking from the crossover pipe, and in the aftermarket, you can find a metal one to prevent it from leaking again. This one in particular is going for $7,500 with about 110,000 miles. The car looks like it's been taken care of very well and looks nearly new. And what are the issues? Air suspension failing, which should fail by now, because I think they fail between 5 to 6 years typically. And there are many reports of these cars after 2004 lasting about 250,000 miles and more, which is pretty awesome. 2003 Lexus GX470. The GX470 is wielding arguably one of the most reliable engines Toyota has produced. The GX470 was produced between 2003 and 2009. And sure, this car is decently old, but Toyota builds their cars to be able to last a long time. The GX470 sits on the same J120 platform that the 4Runner, FJ Cruiser, and the Tacoma sits on. I could keep on, but basically you can find one with relatively low miles by Toyota standards under $10,000. This is the most reliable car on the list, and it's also the oldest, but old does not mean more repairs. This car will outlive most other luxury cars. What are the issues? Many people report some issues after 150,000 miles, which is normal and common repairs like the door lock actuators. There's a common drive shaft thump that is usually fixed or repaired before 100,000 miles. So keep a lookout for that. For what you pay for, you'll be getting a pretty nice SUV. You could buy yourself a new luxury car, but that's only if you have the means to, and that's a lot of money. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to press that like button, subscribe, and press that notification bell to keep you up to date with all my future content. If you have the time, check out one of these videos. This is Chris with AutoMotivate. I always appreciate one another. I'll see you next time.